mechanisms in this country and focus also attention on promotion. And on this point, I absolutely agree with Mr. Aganbikan. Promotion of small-scale and medium enterprises here, and we believe this may constitute inter alia the most important element of structural reforms in Armenia. Well, of course, there can be no universal remedies, but I do believe that certain basic elements should be incorporated into policies of a group of countries Armenia belongs to. These are: anti-crisis efforts should not confine to mere economic measures, and it was also mentioned by academician Aganbikan, but rather cover broader areas, including education, including state governance. Another point: short-term ad hoc measures must go along with structural reforms in view to attain a new quality of the national economy. Despite high temptation to introduce and harden protectionism, this should be avoided to the maximum degree possible. Along with enhanced direct precedented crisis will hardly be efficient, laissez-faire policies should be implemented on as wide scale as possible, with an emphasis on encouraging small and medium business. And the last, regional and international cooperation should get a boost, aimed at catalyzing international trends and possibly forming regional economic blocs, for quite an obvious reason. Only joint efforts can lead us to expedite overcoming of the present crisis. And now please allow me, having outlined the number of these points, maybe a bit controversial, but deliberately controversial, to sparkle debate on these issues. I'd like to introduce the first set of panelists. So first of all, I'd like to present Mr. Alexashenko, who is an outstanding, well-known, renowned economist in Russia, with a long track of his achievements as the deputy and for a short while head of the Central Bank of Russia. And I'd like to emphasize that he was heading the Central Bank of Russia during the most serious and most problematic time when there was, an economic or financial crisis in Russia in 1998. And after having served in the Central Bank of Russia,
what can be done in the fiscal policy front? Countries that need fiscal stimulus but do not have the necessary resources, or reluctant based on their bad track record. I think it's coming from the chairman. Who are afraid of possible punishment. Rule. If we can convince the markets that we are going to tighten in the forthcoming years, and in net present terms our budget is not going to deteriorate, then
just answer.
That
but no video. Just answer and let
okay.
To listen.
Okay. I hope I will manage it. So. Okay. It is difficult to change the culture of the Washington DC institutions. However, the suggested option, that means the medium-term fiscal rules, should be accepted, for example, by the IMF. It can come positive to the IMF. International community should support these countries via international organizations. This is necessary for a sound world recovery. Regarding the monetary policy is not powerful enough to mitigate contracted pressures in these countries. Of course, it has a threat to the financial sector to curb liquidity drive up, to curb stress in the markets. The restructuring of the financial sector is very important. Before the 2001, as I mentioned, the banking sector was very weak in Turkey, but the restructuring in the banking sector was enormous. Now we have a good banking sector. That's why the market pressure was very low in Turkey during the recent crisis. So, restructuring the banking sector is a must. Policy coordination is also important. It is needed between countries, but who is going to be responsible for coordination? We don't know. There is a risk of increasing protectionist measures if there is not going to be a coordination process between the countries. So, to sum up, fiscal policy in our countries has a role to play, but it is limited due to lack of resources. These resources can be obtained from international organizations, so international organizations should help our countries, because we are not the culprit of the crisis, we are the victim of the crisis. And for the medium term, policy coordination is important. Everybody is talking about the restructuring of the financial architecture, but how is it going to be shaped? We don't know. And let me finally mention that floating exchange rate regime is also important. Before the 2001 crisis, there was a fixed exchange rate regime in Turkey. It created a lot of problems. After the 2001 crisis, we passed to implement a floating exchange rate regime. It helped a lot to us during this global crisis. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Dr. Azatay, for your very interesting presentation. And I'd like to express my regret and extend my apologies for technical deficiencies, and I'd like to assure that they didn't stem either from the chairman or any political background. Thank you indeed. It was really of very high interest to listen to this presentation because Turkey is, Armenia's neighbor, first of all, and the close border notwithstanding, Armenia has quite a high turnover with Turkey. The estimate is from $200 million to even $400 million. And we are witnessing the most encouraging and challenging developments in relationship between Armenia and Turkey. Started from the so-called football diplomacy. And the OSCE especially is hopeful that these developments will result in